Where this get away from you guys in the third quarter? How did it get away from you?
Well, I thought they dominated a lot of the first half, and we were lucky to be down 4. I thought that they owned their space on both ends of the court better than we did, and I thought that our reaction to that was to settle on offense, and it led to some runouts, and then it just steamrolled on us. But they were great tonight. They deserved to win, and we need to look at what we can do better. But we knew that they were going to be really good tonight. We talked about matching their urgency and beating their urgency, but we weren't. We didn't do that. And even in the first half, you could see, like, boy, we were lucky to be where we were, I thought.
Kyrie obviously seemed to have some trouble tonight. I know he's not feeling 100%, but were you surprised, I guess, with what you saw out of him energy-wise and just kind of the way he played tonight?
I have to go back and look at it all. I'm more focused on our team as a whole, and I just didn't think we as a team were very good. But again, I want to go back and just credit them. I thought they played great, and they played tough, physical, got into us up and down the court, played on top of us. No different than what they've been doing all year. But as Bud said, the last couple of days, they just wanted to do it harder and better, and they did. Oh, we have to do it a lot better than we did it. It's tough. He's really good. He's an all-star. He's one of the 12 best players in the East this year, and has had a good year. And he started that in the playoffs last year against us, I thought. But we have to do a better job on him. We did not do a good enough job on him all the way down the line. And he still might make it, but we have to do, he got too many looks where it was too open.
Brett, John Corrales, MassLive.com. The three-point defense in general, it didn't seem as connected as it was in Game 1. There were a lot of undisciplined closeouts and flying out at shooters. What led to that?
Good question, John. Good observation too. We weren't very good on either end, but I do think that our offensive settling and some of the shots that we forced probably steamrolled on us in a lot of ways. And so hopefully we can be better at getting better shots, getting able to set our defense so we're not scrambling the whole time, and then just doing a better job of really flying around and being into airspace. I thought there were moments where we did it really well, and there were moments where we didn't. And some guys, I go back, I think Morris has played 2 great games. That's a good example of a guy that I think's really been doing it pretty consistently, and I could go through the tape and pick out 10 good ones of each guy, and probably some that we need to get better with.
Eric named The Athletic. Brad, that's the most the Bucks have switched in a game for pretty much the entire season. Did you feel like they were connected and able to do it? Just because a lot of times when teams aren't able to.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the guys that can do that. They did it last year a lot, and so that's an easy thing for them to adjust to. And I thought they did a really good job of it. Basically Giannis and smaller were doing that. They even switched Mirotic a little bit, switched Ilyasova a little bit, but and kept Lopez as a protector, and that's where they've been great all year. They have a lot of versatility. They have a lot of defensive versatility, and everybody knew they weren't going to be. Game 1 was not going to repeat itself, and so they did a good job of, again, owning the space on both ends of the court. They put us where they wanted to when they were on defense, and when they were on offense, they took us where they wanted to.
Tom, Wisconsin State Journal, you frustrated Giannis a lot Sunday. What did you do differently against your defense today? Anything?
Went downhill. That's what he does. I mean, he hits a couple of threes again. What is he? 5 for 8 or 9 on the series, I think, shooting threes. But he's, but at the end of the day, what he does is he goes downhill, and he got to the foul line, made a couple of those that he missed the other day. I said it this morning. If we could guard him the exact same way for 7 straight games, and he's not going to go 7 for 21 very often. He's an MVP, right? So, like, ultimately, guys like that are going to score some, but we got to do a better job on everybody else.
Kane Pittman with the pick and roll. Brad, Jason Tatum. He's only got 9 points through the first 2 games. How are you seeing his aggressiveness, I guess, offensively, and how are you able to get him going?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, my focus is on all of us, and we all have to be better. There's some things that each guy can do better, some things that each guy needs to bring to the table, and we need to make sure that we're all clicking when Friday night starts. Thanks.
Y'all know who I am. I'm not who I used to be. I know it wasn't in my plans, but it panned out and it's cool to me. Spent all my time trying to be the man, but didn't want to grow like Peter Pan. Once upon a time I was doing bad, now I'm on something new, hope you understand. Sitting on top undefeated, any obstacle I'ma beat it. Any opposition I'ma beat them. Victory is all I see, cause losing is never an option, it's never an option, no. I see you over there plotting, you think you gon' prosper, no.
I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in. I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in.
Sick of losing, I was born to win. A new man like I'm born again. This time around, man, I'm going in. They gave me the ball, I'm not losing it. You devils can take all these L's back. Moving forward, never looking back. Refuse to take any more losses. No misfortunes, just endorsements. Operate at peak performance. Squad behind me, reinforcements. All I think about is scoring. Hear 'em roaring, crowd applauding. Cause losing is never an option, it's never an option, no. I see you over there plotting, you think you gon' prosper, no.
I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in. I refuse to lose, I'm born to win. I refuse to lose, I'm going in.
Obviously, I think that's more what we're accustomed to seeing. I liked our spirit, our activity, our competitiveness, all up and down the roster. Obviously, Giannis and Chris and Bled really set a tone. And, we just need to kind of capture that, see what we can, take it to Boston with us and play that way up there.
But just what do you think about your defense in terms of that third quarter? What do you think you guys were able to do to kind of turn the tide on that end?
To be honest with you, I thought we were competing and playing well defensively for the whole game. And the third quarter, maybe it's just a little bit of, I don't know if you say wearing them down or whatever it is, but we just stuck to what we were doing. Our guys were able to create some turnovers, create some misses, take care of the boards, get out and run. But I thought the defense really from the beginning was quality.
Bledsoe was kind of bottled up in game one and got loose tonight. What was the difference that you saw out of him?
I just, his aggressiveness, was really good. I thought, obviously he sets the tone for us defensively. It's a great matchup at the point guard spot. And, again, I think just like for our whole team, when we get stops, then he can get out and play in transition. He can play with a little bit more space. We were able to get a few more stops tonight. And I think that turned Bled loose and, a couple other situations where he was good in attack mode.
Eric named the Athletic, Bud. That's the most we've seen you switch in a game this entire season. Just what do you think defensively of your guys, and I guess how proud of you were you that they were able to make that adjustment?
Yeah, the guys were good. They probably run more, small on small pick and rolls that, and then some of the other situations maybe we read it a little bit more. But our guys, They competed. They got after it. They were totally bought in. I was very pleased with their effort defensively.
Coach, Giannis 18 times to the foul line. And even though he didn't have a basket, I think, in the first quarter, but that's what you wanted to see right from the start. He was really aggressive and getting to the foul line. And then those shots are going to come.
Yeah, no, I thought Giannis's mindset and, the aggressiveness with which he played, the force with which he played, is what he needs to do and what we need to do. And so, he's going to get to the free throw line a lot the way he attacks, and, he's going to finish or go there, and sometimes both.
Coach, do you think that the physicality Boston had with Giannis in Game 1 sort of surprised him and he adjusted tonight, or do you just think maybe it was a little bit of rust in the first game compared to today?
Well, certainly you have to give Boston credit. They played well the other day, and there's no doubt they're a good defensive team. They're well coached, and we didn't play well. So, today we played better. Giannis played better. Collectively, we played better. Now it's we'll go to Boston and be a great game Friday.
It seemed like he was catching the ball in different spots than he was in Game 1, and I just noticed at practice yesterday he spent a lot of time with an individual coach. Can you take us through it all, what personal adjustments he may have made or what you guys were working with him on yesterday?
I have no idea what my assistant coaches do with Giannis, so that's a joke. But in all honesty, it's a lot of stuff what they've been doing, all year, and getting him in different spots is something that we try and do throughout the year, and sometimes we're better at it than others. Tonight I thought his activity just in general was good. People finding him finding his teammates. So it's his individual work on off days and his practice and work ethic are phenomenal.
With Giannis, I'm curious, did you feel like he found maybe a little bit better balance tonight? It looked like he was looking for the pass early and then kind of picking his spots a little bit there.
Yeah, I think a lot has probably been said. I don't think he was that bad the other day. But, was he better today? He certainly was better. I think finding his teammates, I think we shot it better. Making shots is such a huge part of the playoffs. And, he had guys step up and make some, and I think that opens the court for him. And we got to continue to make shots around him. He's got to continue to make great decisions.
Why the switch to Nico in the starting lineup, and what did you think, of his play and some added minutes tonight?
Yeah, it's interesting. I thought Nico was great. I thought he added a little bit of an energy and an effort, a little physicality. His defense is what stood out to me. Obviously, he's such an incredible shooter and can shoot it from deep, and you're just waiting for him to pop off 5, 7, 8 threes in a game. So, I think to get him in the game more, to get that three-point shooting, that three-point threat out there, just made sense. Sterling's, a little banged up, a little, his back is just a little sore. So I thought Nico was really good, and I thought his effort defensively, stood out as much as anything. Just the threat of him at the three-point line is, it's really helpful for us.
Just with Chris, you just over here, bud. You spoke pre-game that you thought he was one of the guys that played well last game. It seemed in the second quarter he hit a couple of those transition threes, and that really seemed to spark things after that. You were sort of struggling to hit shots before. So what did you see from Chris offensively?
I thought, Chris, like you said, the transition threes, when he's starting to hit those and we got guys backpedaling and they're trying to show crowds and, he gets in a rhythm on his dribble coming up. Those are huge shots for us and him. And, I thought he scored some other ways. I thought our pace and Bled getting to the paint, and Giannis getting the paint, sharing it, getting some really good open threes for Chris with, just our activity, our aggressiveness. So he made some tough ones, and he made some, I think that his teammates created some really good looks for him also.
Just taking a look at the bench, I think George and Pat, again, were guys that ate up a lot of minutes. Just how, I guess, convenient is it for you to have George where you just have so much trust in him and he can go out there and play like that?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to articulate, what George Hill means, I think, to the team, and particularly for me, just to have, a point guard in Eric Bledsoe who starts the game, who's a phenomenal defender, and then to, come in and have George kind of then give Bled a break, and there's really no drop-off defensively. And, George has played in a ton of huge games, a lot of playoff series. He's just he gives me a ton of comfort. I think he gives his teammates and everybody a lot of comfort for sure.
Coach John Corrales, MassLive.com. How much of an impact was Boston's misses on your three-point shooting, meaning getting out in transition versus game one where they hit a lot more shots and you were going up against a set defense?
Yeah, no doubt. Sometimes it's a make-miss league, and we'll have to look at the film. Hopefully we were, making it difficult on them at the three-point line and contesting. But it's just like every game. I guarantee you they miss some open looks that, they make those. It's a little different for us in transition. And, you look at the film from game one. We wish we would have made some more shots and made some more threes. And so we'll look at the film and see. Hopefully it was our defense that, impacted their three-point shooting. And we just got to continue to scramble and rotate like we did. I think, that was a big part of, our defense tonight. Great, thanks.
Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass. Cross 'em up, fast. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass. Cross 'em up, fast. MJ with the ball, temp fade. Been made since the old days, so paid. LJ call him King James. 6 rings, ball hard in the paint, thanks. What a gratitude, young black man with an attitude. So focused, you probably think that I'm mad at you. Gotta get that check on the sex like flex, make the girl say yes. What you mean? I just put some magic on a dream. Clean, do it for the team, Billie Jean. Sammy Santor like y'all mean. Crowd scene, thanks for the doubting. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass. Cross 'em up, fast. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass. Cross 'em up, fast. Lightning, I move smooth as Tai Chi. Never gave two what if they like me. Entice D, bet I bubble like Sprite B. And when it comes to the feet, it's not likely. Street cred, plus I run the court 6 legs. Y'all just creep, no 6 leg. Paint a picture for your head, top ball till I'm dead drop. shoot threes from the grave, no, the game don't stop. Coach put me in, no, I can't just watch. No, bench warmers or ball hoarders in my corner. My legacy lives on like a heart donor. Transplant, I ain't talking about your hairline. If it's J's on my feet, then it's airtime. Snare chime, words for weapons, well, let me add mine. Chop it sound, drop it down, bear climb, gone. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass, pass. Cross 'em up, fast, fast. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass, pass. Cross 'em up, fast.
Yeah. Real love, something I've been trying to find. Where you been? Got here just in time. I think there's something I've been waiting for. I've been asking if it's something that I'm ready for. I was out looking for love in a trash can. I always thought there was nobody out there. Then I found you and you put me in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm sleeping, love is all I can dream of. When you leave me, baby, it's all that I can think of. Can't nothing come in between us but the road. I can't help it that we connected at the soul. Show me how to love, how you do that. It's my heart, better watch the way you shoot it. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. This time last year used to hate love. Been through so much, almost gave up. Every time I felt like it was something missing. Then I met you, then you showed me something different. Heart on lockdown, but let no one in. I was shutting people down before they even begin. Can't imagine me living my life without you. Had to sit down and write me a song about you. Lost my mind to describe what it feel like. If a bird lost a wing, but it still flies. You the one, help me realize. Love really do exist in the real life. Love really do exist in the real life. Real life, real life. When I'm sleeping, love is all I can dream of. When you leave me, baby, it's all that I can think of. Can't nothing come in between us but the road. I can't help it that we connected at the soul. Show me how to love, how you do that. It's my heart, better watch the way you shoot it. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in the zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone. When I'm with you, I feel like I be in my zone.
Kyrie, Gary Washburn from the Boston Globe. It seemed like you just couldn't get going tonight. Even in the second half, you hit a couple of shots, and then, I mean, you were getting contested at the rim, couldn't finish. What happened tonight?
You know, like I said the other night. I mean, some shots gonna go in, some shots aren't. Tried to get to my spots, but they were really sending three over every single place I went on the court. You know, that's a sign of respect. And for me, I just got to be more efficient in controlling the tempo of the game, pace, where I want to get to on the floor, and making reads better around that mid-range area. Did a great job of switching tonight, you know, forcing me left. And, you know, getting to the paint wasn't hard. It's just going in there and making the right decisions. And the way I started off the game as well, of just getting downhill. Just setting an example for my teammates the way we want to play. I just didn't put my stamp on that. So I think that the rest of the tempo of the game, they did a great job of controlling it. And then when you have, them shooting, 47 threes and making 20 of them, that also kind of bites you in the butt. And then, you got E-Bled and Chris Middleton and Giannis combining for, over 70 points. That's tough to combat as well, especially when you're not making shots.
Joseph Pavone, WEEI.com, CLNS Media. Kyrie, what did you see differently defensively in the second half from the Bucks?
It wasn't anything, different than we saw in the first half. I just think that they were just scrambling. It was just looked like frantic defense, and then we got a little frantic and, took some quick shots, that led out to some transition baskets. So we gave them some, pretty easy plays, but they made the right reads as well. And then, like I said, when you attempt 47 threes, it's like that's absurd in an NBA game, but that's the way they've played all season. So we just got to be ready to weather the storm and get ready for Game 3.
Kyrie, John Corrales, MassLive.com. You just kind of touched on it. Do you think the your team's misses kind of played into their ability to take and make as many threes as they did versus the Game 1 facing much more of a set defense? Yeah,
but I think we could have controlled a little bit more in a half court in terms of the threes that they were getting. Chris shot 7 for 10 tonight. Eric got 3 for 5, and then Giannis made 2 for 4. Those are big plays in the game. And then, of course, when Giannis shoots 18 free throws in a game, that also, slows the pace down. And we just got to find a way to keep our tempo. That's my job, to go out there and just really set that example for our team, get out in transition, make the right reads. So we'll look at film, but I think I already have a clue of the way I want to play going into Game 3.
Jay King, The Athletic. Kyrie, this is the first time you're in the playoffs as a lone all-star on your team, especially after a game like this. What is the extra burden there, and how do you intend to deal with it?
There's no extra burden. This is what I signed up for. This is what Boston traded for me for. So being able to go back, get back in the trenches, get ready for, another battle on Friday. This is what you live for. So, basketball is fun when it comes like this, when you have to respond. And, this is type of basketball you want to be playing at this time of year.
Kane Pittman with the pick and roll. Kyrie, you said that they were throwing 2 or 3 bodies at you every time. They looked like they were switching 1 through 4 to start the game as well defensively. So how do you guys work through that, and what's the best way, I suppose, to get around that? Because it looked like, as you said, they were playing pretty frantic defense and sort of harassing you guys.
Yeah, as they should. They came out with a sense of urgency. I don't think any team wants to go down 2-0, especially on their home floor. So they came out with that energy. I feel like we paced the game pretty well. But like I said, it starts with the example of me getting down in that paint and making the right reads. And I failed to do that tonight. So, that responsibility falls on me in terms of that, just controlling the tempo a lot better. They were getting out in transition. They made plays. But there were times, examples in the game where, I could have just slowed us down and just got us into some sets that we've gone to and attacked the switches, especially when Chris and Nikola Mirotic are switching on me. That's something like I just got to just go by them. So.
Final question, Paul. Paul Flannery, SB Nation. Things can fluctuate a lot game to game during a playoff series, but how do you guys feel about coming out of here with a split in the big picture?
It's the playoffs. We're playing against a great team. They're number 1 in the Eastern Conference for a reason. Finished regular season strong, came out, did what they were supposed to do in the first round of the playoffs, and now, it's 2 great teams going against one another. I've been in too many battles, going back and forth to get it too high or too low. Going back home, you always feel good, but, this one would have been great to get, but we didn't. And now we go back home and reset our mindset going in and really just have fun playing the game of basketball. They did a great job of just making us make decisions and being in certain positions where we didn't execute, or guys were thinking that one guy was going to be there and they weren't because they were sending 3 or 4 at the ball. And in order to beat this team, you got to play even more together, and especially when we're coming down and we have the talent to attack certain matchups, but getting that ball to the second side and getting it back on another side and attacking that way and seeing the help, then everyone's in the right positions. So we shot a little too quick tonight, especially some of the shots I took. So, Game 3, I'm looking forward to it. Yep.
ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass, cross 'em up, fast. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass, cross 'em up, fast. MJ with the ball, temp fade. Been made since the old days, so paid. LJ call him King James. 6 rings, ball hard in the paint, thanks. What a gratitude, young black man with an attitude. So focused, you probably think that I'm mad at you. Gotta get that check on the sex, like flex, make the girl say yes. What you mean? I just put some magic on the dream. Clean, do it for the team, Billie Jean. Sammy Santor like Yao Ming. Crowd scene, thanks for the doubting. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass, cross 'em up, fast. Ball hard on the court, boy. Ball hard on the court. Switch it up, pass, cross 'em up, fast. Lightning, I move smooth as Tai Chi. Never gave two what if they like me. Entice D, bet I bubble like Sprite B. And when it comes to the feet, it's not likely. Street cred.
Giannis, this is Joe Varden from The Athletic. Coach Bud just said that it wasn't as though you played bad in game one. And I know you talked about it yesterday. Your brother called, I think. Other than that, how did you shake off whatever you thought about game one and just get ready and right for this one?
Usually, after the shake game and the bad loss at home, you get a little bit tensed up and start hesitating and stuff. But all I can do is just trust my teammate and go back and look at the tape and see what I did wrong, what I did right, and just come into in game two with the mindset to be aggressive and make the right play.
John Corrales, MassLive.com. Chris, how much of an impact did it have on your shooting, the three-point shooting, getting out in transition versus in game one facing more of a set defense?
I think that was one of our main things is playing with pace. They're a great defensive team once they get set, and we play in the half court. So for the main thing is for us to just get out, try to get a stop, and get out and run, play with pace, and attack out of that, make quick decisions. And I was able to find open threes and pull up threes with that.
Eric, Mike Heller, 97.3 The Game in Milwaukee. About getting to the rim, they took that away on Sunday. Conscious effort, what was different on being able to get to the basket tonight?
Like Chris said, they're a great defensive team. They packed the paint in on us. And I thought game one we had some good looks we just missed. But, today I thought we kept attacking no matter if they packed the paint or not and made the right decision and, trust each other, to make the right play, and we did that.
Eric named The Athletic. Giannis, it looked like early in the game you were really trying to make a conscious effort to find your teammates when they were out by the three-point line. Was that something, I know we talked a little bit about patience yesterday, but was that kind of part of your approach going into this one?
Yeah. I think in game one I didn't do, a good job finding my teammates. I think I could do a better job. So, of course I wanted to be aggressive, but at the end of the day you got to make the right play. And to start the game, the right play was the pass. So I was just trying to, find guys, in the right spot and just make the right play.
Chris Doyle, Wisconsin State Journal. Eric and Chris, you guys were a combined 10 of 15 from beyond the arc. How does it help your game when Giannis is being more aggressive and able to kind of find his spots?
Works hand in hand. He's at his best when he's playing aggressive, getting downhill, getting to the paint, putting pressure on the defense. And in order for us to loosen up for that, we have to be willing to take and make shots, threes, play aggressive. So it works hand in hand. We both have to be aggressive. We both have to, try to score and to help things out for him.
Matt Velasquez, Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. There's a lot more switching from you guys on defense instead of dropping against the pick and rolls. Just how much do you think that energized you guys, allowing you to kind of lean into your aggressiveness?
They as much as they're great on defense, they're great on offense, man. They like to get downhill. Same as us, make the right play. In game one, we got beat. one-on-one, screen the roll, Horford popping, getting wide open looks. And when we went and looked back at the film, we just thought that was the right thing. Coach Bud did a great job. His staff did a great job of, making adjustments. And in the playoffs, you got to make adjustments, and that's one of the big adjustments we made.
Γιάννη, καλησπέρα. Γιάννικος Δούσκας, Nova Sports, Greece. Μαζί μου από την Ελλάδα ήρθαν 20 μαθητές σε μια ενέργεια που εσύ στηρίζεις για την ανακύκλωση, ανταποδοτική ανακύκλωση, και φεύγουν με ένα τεράστιο χαμόγελο στις βαλίτσες τους. Πώς νιώθεις εσύ, πώς βλέπεις αυτή την αγάπη που υπάρχει από τους Έλληνες και όχι μόνο?
Ελληνικά ή αγγλικά?
Ελληνικά.
Εντάξει, είναι πάρα πολύ ωραίο το συναίσθημα να έρχεται ο κόσμος στο γήπεδο και να μας στηρίζει. Ειδικά αυτό που έχουμε κάνει με την ανακύκλωση και με έχει βοηθήσει ο ατζέντης μου και φέραμε τα παιδιά, 20 παιδιά που το αξίζουν να είναι εδώ. Είναι ωραίο που κερδίσαμε το μάτς και θα φύγουμε με ένα χαμόγελο. Όπως είπα, θέλω να τους ευχαριστήσω όλους τους Έλληνες που έρχονται εδώ. Είναι τρομερό να έρχομαι στα παιχνίδια και να ακούω Έλληνες να φωνάζουν και να σηκώνουν την ελληνική σημαία και να συνεχίζω να το κάνω αυτό. Γιατί αυτό είναι που με συνεχίζει και μου δίνει δύναμη και συνεχίζω και προχωράω μπροστά και κάνω ό,τι καλύτερο μπορώ.
I had a pretty good transition, but I stopped paying attention halfway through.
Howie Magner with Milwaukee Magazine. Chris, or any of you gentlemen, how does a game like this, especially in light of the Game 1 result, play into the continuing maturation of this team?
It's just one game. I mean, that's the thing we told ourselves after Game 1. They punched in their mouths. They won by 20 plus or whatever. But at the end of the day, we only lost one game. So here, it was the same situation. No matter the points, we won one game. So we have to move on to the next one and prepare for that. It's going to be tough to win on the road in the playoffs, but we've been there before with Detroit series, and I think we know what to do. So just got to go in there, give it our all, be sharp, pay attention to the game plan, and try to get a win.
Giannis, Chuck Freeman from The Fan. Was there an urgency that you had to come out and win this game? You didn't want to go down 0-2 going into Boston, that there was that extra oomph that your backs were kind of to the wall even though you were only down 1-0 going in?
Of course, there was an urgency, and as Chris said, we lost Game 1. The points don't matter, but at the end of the day, you got to come out and, win Game 2. You get back on track, and that's what we did tonight. That's how we've been responding all season long. That's what's great about this team, and we got to talk about the fans too. I think the fans did a great job just supporting us, giving us that extra motivation, and the atmosphere was great. But at the end of the day, we got to still stay humble. We know we got Game 3 on the road now. Every game is going to get tougher and tougher and tougher, and we got to keep playing good basketball and trust one another, and hopefully we can get Game 3.
Giannis way in the back here. Stephen Watson with WISN TV. Giannis, I'm curious what Thanasis had to say to you after that game.
Thanasis? I haven't talked with Thanasis yet, but he'd be probably proud. I played a little bit of defense tonight, so he'd be probably proud. How you laugh?
Giannis, another one. I was told as a team you guys went to go see Avengers last week, and I'm curious what you thought of it, and also just what that's like for you with just all the different things you have to deal with to be able to kind of take a night and hang out with the guys away from the floor like that.
It was great. Most of the guys from the team came out. The movie was a really nice movie. I was waiting for that movie probably for a year and a half now. It was everything that I expected, and I didn't know it was 3 hours long. We were there for 3 hours, and I had to use the restroom, but I never left. So it was a nice movie.
John Corrales, MavsLive.com. You guys made your adjustments. You feel good. You got a big win, and now you have the possibility of getting Malcolm Brogdon back going into Boston in one of those two games. What does that do for your confidence, knowing that you've had this kind of game and you might get a key player back at some point, maybe in Boston?
Chris?
I mean, we all know what Malcolm can do. He's a huge part of our whole season. Went down late, but just what he brings to the table, his poise, his toughness, his ability to knock down tough shots, big shots late in games, to make plays for others, and just another guy out there that knows how to play. High IQ guy that can play both sides of the ball, on and off the ball. So to get him back, it's going to be huge for us. So hopefully he comes back, he's ready, he's in shape, and he can help us win some ball games.
Giannis, you guys really haven't switched a lot this season, and tonight you just keep switching action over and over again. How does that involve you a little bit more? How does that change things for you defensively?
Obviously, we've been playing, we've been dropping a lot, making the other team shoot a lot of, tough too. And so, when you switch, you got to take the individual pride. You got to guard your player and try to keep him in front. And I think that helped us. I think game one, we were able to get a lot of open looks. But now, by switching, you make them play one-on-one. And I think I can move my feet, Nico can move his feet, Ersan can move his feet, Brook can move his feet. So I think that's going to help the team, in the long run. So we worked today. Hopefully we can, go back, watch tape. Coach Bad can tell us, what the game plan for Game 3 is. But for sure we're going to use this a little bit more, moving forward in the series.
Paul Flannery, SB Nation. Eric, with Kyrie, you can try to force him to take bad shots, but he makes a lot of bad shots, tough shots, I should say. What was your strategy on him tonight? I know you picked up full court a little bit more. What was your strategy on him just to try to make it hard on him?
Like you said, try to make it tough, man. He's a great, phenomenal one-on-one player. All I could do is try to, take him out of his weaknesses, run him off the three-point line, and trust my teammates going to be behind me. So they do a great job all season long, Brook, Giannis, of having my back if I get beat. And we just made it tough on him.
Chris, Steve Ashburner with NBA.com. Both coaches made it sound as if your team was in control, even in the first half, though it really revealed itself in the second half. Did you guys feel that way as well, or was there some sense of maybe it could be frustrating if you're playing well, but you're not getting the results quite the way they showed later?
I think we felt we put ourselves in a better position to win in that first half, and then coming out the third quarter. We were down to maybe game one, and we knew we just weren't putting in the right effort, we weren't doing the right things out there. But this game, I will say, we were a little bit more confident going to halftime. We knew what we need to do. The third quarter, we knew that's where the game really slipped away from us in game one, so we wanted to come out as strong as we could and try to play the same way we did in that first half.